What do I say? What do I say? Technical director Tim Steidten is on the brink of leaving West Ham, according to several sources close to the club. He only joined us back in the summer of 2023 and has recently come under a lot of scrutiny over some of the signings that he made in the summer. Nicholas Fulkrug, Lewis Guilherme, people saying Jean-Claire Todibo. I wouldn't necessarily put him in that wavelength, but he is absolutely came under a bit of scrutiny recently, and to be honest with you, I just feel like he's been sullied. That's the new statement I'm going to say. I think that anyone who comes near David Sullivan gets sullied and bang, he's out the door. Oh man, it's never a dull moment as a West Ham fan, is there? Anyway, welcome back to the West Ham Network. Anton here. This is a live little update for you. A developing story coming out of West Ham is that sources close to the club are thinking that Tim Steidten is heading out the door. Keep your comments coming in. It's a very odd one. I find it odd. I find the stories odd. I find how the journey to this situation here has transpired the way it has. You're hearing conflicting reports. You're hearing that people are happy with him. He's been welcomed back into Rush Green under Graham Potter. When Graham Potter signed, the man who showed him around the club was Tim Steidten. I don't know if this is just the mainstream media jumping the gun and putting two together and coming up with their own answer. I don't know what the situation is. But apparently sources are saying that he saw his and seen his influence over transfer recruitments reduced dramatically. And obviously we have got Graham Potter in, and the rumour is that we're going to be bringing in his trusted transfer analyst, Kyle McCauley. It seems to be a matter of not if, but when he comes in. It's believed that obviously we know from the stories that came out that Tim Steidten potentially fell out with David Moyes and of course Julian Lopetegui, as we reported earlier on in the season, that he was told not to go near Rush Green, or chose not to go near Rush Green where the players were training. And sources are saying that he's potentially offering his services to other clubs. I can't get my head round the thing, to be honest with you. I think that the whole situation is just one big naughty embarrassment for the club, the way that things have been ran and the way that, there's too many scenarios where all the people that have came and gone cannot be wrong with how the blame needs to lie somewhere at some point. And I'm not trying to say that Tim Steidten, Julian Lopetegui, David Moyes, everything, you name it, are not at fault in any way whatsoever. But, the question really is Tim Steidten has he been given the tools to do his job? Has he been given those tools? And I don't really know. And the rumours are now saying that Kyle McCauley is in advanced talks to become our new head of recruitment at West Ham, and that's according to sources. Darmish Chef, for example, at Sky Sports. They're claimed that we are set to appoint McCauley, who's worked with Graham Potter at his time at Chelsea. And even though I think personally that we've brought in some good signings under Steidten, it looks like the fatigue of that technical director has maybe came to a head, and all that money that's been spent, and we've not seen any return of those investment. And Potter is known for his ability to take young players and make something of them rather than always going for the high profile players, which is probably aligning with that rumoured link yesterday. Banzunzi, that's the type of top talent from not the best top leagues in the world. I've mentioned it several times in a video this morning. If you haven't already, go and check it out. So bringing someone like McCauley in suggests that there's going to be a big shift in how West Ham do transfer business in London, and how that sorry, I just had this coming through. yeah, I don't know how that kind of changes the outlook of what we're doing moving forward. Um, I can only but hope that Potter. Something I had said a while ago was the only thing that gave me faith in what was happening behind the scenes was that Tim Steidten was staying at the club, because I had a lot of faith in what Tim Steidten was going to do. I felt like he was going to come in, he was going to choose the manager, he was going to choose the head coach, and he was going to choose players. He's going to put in a full system in place. It looked like that system was going to be taken into place, but I wonder how much of the real scenario will come to light. I wonder how much of non-involvement of David Sullivan will come to light. It's very easy for me to sit here and blame David Sullivan, because that's the nature of what I do. I always blame David Sullivan because I can never tend to forget about what's gone on there in the past. But I just wonder how much tools and freedom Tim Steidten was actually given in his role. Again, like I said, this is a developing story. There's nothing that's come out 100% on that situation. But he has overseen players like Kudus coming in, Edson Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse, albeit apparently that was a David Moyes signing. But this summer hasn't been and has far been close to ideal, to be honest. And like I said, it looks like he will be heading out the door, and Kyle McCauley will be coming in, having worked with him in the past. Even though he worked with him at Stamford Bridge for such a short time, McCauley remained there in West London, like after Graham Potter left the club. But yeah, it's interesting. This is live. Keep your comments coming in. Let us know what everyone is saying. West Ham Faithful says so many conflicting stories. He was welcome back at Ross Green this week. Seems a bit weird if he's getting the old sack. The thing is, do you put it past them? Do you put it past them, West Ham Faithful? I don't. Let's be honest, it hasn't worked. I can't deny or agree, but do you think that there's a reason why this hasn't worked, and what the main reason is? Does it point to the top? But Tim is technical director, not head of recruitment, but his role does take on that position. You do make a valid point, but he is also recruits players, so we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Why aren't we blocking Forest and putting a 57 minute bid for Cunha? Because I don't think that's the model that West Ham are trying to go down. And, again, lots of fans want a very similar model to Brighton, and the Brighton model is not going and signing the top talent from the league that you play in and spending all that money. It's about looking at the best talent from all over Europe and seeing what you can get diamonds in the rough, I suppose you could say. Circus Merry-Go-Round, our club is a joke from Mark. I'm getting Potter has asked the club to get Dan Ashworth vibes. I just think they're all really interesting, because obviously with the images that were leaked about Potter speaking to Tim Steidten, like, is this, where are the mainstream media basing this on? I mean, surely there is. We all know there's leaks at the club, so surely they're getting this information that this is going to happen. I just find the whole situation odd, because if Tim Steidten was involved in the recruitment with Graham Potter in any kind of format, unless he was just the fall guy or the communications guy, the front facing guy, then the whole thing's very, very odd. All Tim's has really done is sold the club to players, and if we're honest, no one more qualified to do that than Nobes. So bring in Ashworth and promote Nobes, job done. It's a good point. Yeah, the never-ending story of nonsense at our club. Gaza says all this with West Ham is boring me now. It's getting on my nerves with the transfers and the silly bids. Sullivan thinks we're all fix idiots, but the thing is, Gaza, we've known it for years. I don't know why he keeps doing it, but he does. Has Sullivan been the master manipulator? Tim has clearly made mistakes, but let's be clear, suddenly everything has gone wrong. It's Tim's fault and nothing to do with Sullivan. And that's my concern, Neil, because Sullivan never takes the blame. He'll never take the blame. He never has done take the blame. Even when it comes to recruiting the boss, there's never been a statement out there that says, listen, we made a wrong decision. It was wrong. It's just always... I always go back to when we brought Pellegrini in and then we sacked Pellegrini and brought Moyes back, and he kind of put the statement out and he stated that it was what the fans wanted. It was what the fans wanted. Afternoon, mate. Hope you're all well. Good to see you all. Questions over where some of the money went. I heard some past deals. Rumours come from German journal who posts on KUMB. Tougher. Brendan says, lunchtime for me as usual. Batting down the hatches of the Red Warmins to stop storm tonight. Absolutely. And we're front line and centre. They've closed our schools already for tomorrow. And the police have warned of no travel at all. So hopefully it dies and goes away and allows us to try and get some form of normality. But yeah, be safe if you are in the line of any storm for tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sully picks Loppy, and now we'll chuck Tim under the bus. Can't be bothered with this. You're true. The weather's turning here already. When they start to pick up here also. Been on the beans and sprouts. Afternoon usual. Potter's first presser was telling, moved on from Stein question very quickly to talk more about Nobs, and we'll see that in his presser tomorrow. We thought his presser was going to be today, but maybe that's all changed because of the situation that we're in, this developing story. If Sullivan wants to sack someone, should be his agents, mates, who have probably up more deals than Tim, pushed through his own players rather than doing what is best for the club. I suppose at the end of the day, when it comes to Lopetegui, when it comes to Moyes, when it comes to Tim Steidten, when it comes to all the stories that come out of the club, I was going to say we'll probably never know. I think we will find out at one case or another. But this is a developing story. Tim Steiden's on the brink of leaving West Ham, according to several sources. The usual suspects out there are suggesting that this is going to happen. But we have to be very mindful because yesterday was another day that reminded us that whatever reports are out there, they're not always true. They could be just doing a big reshuffle. Tim Steidten could be staying part of the team. They could be bringing Macaulay in. I can't see it, but who knows what that is going to be looking like moving forward. This is a short live for you, but I just wanted to bring it to you. So Tim Steidten, like I said, on the brink of leaving West Ham. Macaulay potentially coming in, who has worked with Graham Potter before at Chelsea. When Graham Potter was sacked, Macaulay stayed on at Chelsea and is highly thought of in the world of head recruitment. But then again, we all thought Tim Steidten was highly thought of in the world of recruitment as well. Adam Cook says, until the poison dwarf goes out of our club, it'll still be a joke. He thinks he's a wheeler dealer, but he's an idiot. Waste of money going to cheap players we should go and get. And the frustration there lies in, I'm not against buying players who aren't 50, 60 million pound players, but if there's a value on the player, we don't lowball it. We've done it for years, and he was caught out over Carvalho from Sporting Lisbon all that time ago. So yeah, there you go. There you go. The short and sweet one for you. Yeah. We'll see what happens with this developing story. Take it easy, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment if you're watching. Take it easy.